The world is under Israel's gaze right now. However, did you know that there are some mysterious signs of the rapture occurring in the country? These signs, which have terrified many people, have drawn global attention. So what is really happening in the Holy Land? And what might these signs indicate for the future? Stay with us until the end of this video, and you will discover what these signs are. The first indication of the rapture lies in the reconstruction of the Third Temple and its respective ceremony. This Third Temple represents a site of significant importance in Jerusalem, desired by many people. Its relevance surpasses that of the ancient temples that were destroyed. Although it has not yet been erected, it enjoys a prominent position in Judaism, especially among Orthodox Jews who consider it the supreme place for the worship of God. In the Hebrew Bible, the prophets looked forward to the construction of this new temple at the coming of the Messiah. For some Christians, it is also associated with its importance with the end times. However, a dilemma emerges since the desired location for the Third Temple coincides with the location where Muslims have a relevant building known as the Dome of the Rock, which has given rise to intense debates and discussion. During the reconstruction process, a surprising discovery occurred beneath the Temple Mount in 1927, profoundly altering beliefs about the location of the Temple Mount. A significant earthquake caused damage to the Al-Aqsa Mosque, and to carry out necessary repairs, the Muslim leadership allowed some investigations in the area. Archaeologist Robert Hamilton collaborated with Muslim religious leaders in the search for the exact location of the damage to the mosque. However, Hamilton had to exercise extreme caution so as not to provoke discontent in the Muslim community, so he did not publicize all of his findings. Surprisingly, many of these discoveries dated back to times before Muslim rule, including the Second Temple period and the Byzantine period. These discoveries remained hidden for a long time, but now, almost 80 years later, they are finally coming to light. Israeli archaeologists Dr. Gabi Barkai and Isaac Dia conducted a thorough analysis of Hamilton's hidden discoveries. They meticulously examined tons of soil taken from the Temple Mount approximately 13 years ago, revealing countless small archaeological artifacts that enrich our understanding of Jerusalem's history. One of these notable discoveries included a Jewish mikveh, a Second Temple-era ritual pool, likely used by Jews before entering the temple grounds. Additionally, several small objects dating back to the First and Second Temple periods were found. Hamilton's discoveries also included parts of a Byzantine mosaic that was found beneath the floor of the Al-Aqsa Mosque, fragments of columns and evidence of a church that existed in the Temple Mount region during the Byzantine period, stretching from 324 to 638 AE. These discoveries challenge historical preconceptions and suggest that the Temple Mount did not remain uninhabited during the Byzantine era, having structures such as churches during that period. At the same time, the construction process of the Third Temple is ongoing, with a special ceremony recently taking place on October 12th. In this celebration, a tradition involving water was carried out, involving the participation of numerous people, including priests and Levites. During the ceremony, there was singing, dancing, and music along the ancient paths in Shiloh. A golden jar was used to collect water, which was then carried back to the top of the mountain. There, a model altar was erected and special tools were used, recreating traditional practices of the ancient temple. The ceremony culminated with a special blessing, followed by another ceremony that takes place every 50 years, even though the Torah, a holy book, does not require such a celebration. The water ceremony is part of a tradition considered a joyful temple holiday, lasting 15 hours, with festivities continuing throughout the night until the next morning. Participants from different nations came together to celebrate the festival of Sukkoth, transforming it into an international day of worship. The water ceremony is held on the last 6 days of the Sukkoth holiday, and during the morning service, wine is poured. The Kohanim fill a jar with water from the spring and head from the temple to the Shiloh spring, located at the foot of Mount Moriah. Then, 2 korban sacrifices are taken to the stone altar in the inner courtyard of the temple, where wine and water are poured into holes specially designated for this ceremony. In addition to the events related to the Third Temple, other prophetic events have come to light, such as the strange sounds of trumpets in the sky in Israel. In central Israel, some people were surprised by these powerful and mysterious sounds that echoed, disconcerting even the army and police. These sonic explosions and intense vibrations were noticed in places such as Gush Dan, Tel Aviv, and Petah Tikva, extending as far as Juliz, 50 km away. Similar sounds, often called trumpets of heaven or skyquakes, have been reported from various parts of the world, including the United States, Canada, Costa Rica, Russia, the Czech Republic, and Australia. These sounds are notoriously new, intriguing and chilling, often taking forms that resemble moans, metallic resonances, and even indistinct voices. Some people speculate about the meaning of these sounds, perhaps associating them with omens of the end of the world. Some connections are made with biblical passages that mention trumpets, such as those described in the book of Revelation, where 7 trumpets are blown by angels, foreshadowing significant and often frightening events, as predicted by John of Patmos. These trumpets, called psaltics in Greek, were made of bronze and had a different appearance than modern trumpets. The last 3 trumpets, known as the trumpets of trouble, are particularly significant, announcing events of distress in the biblical narratives. These trumpet sounds have deep meaning in the stories, amplifying the importance of the events described in the book of Revelation. Additionally, a recent notable event involved a wedding held on the Temple Mount. Chapter 33, verse 11 of the book of Jeremiah brings to light a prophecy that mentions a moment of great joy, characterized by the voice of joy and the voice of joy, and the voice of rejoicing. This excerpt is interpreted as a representation of the happiness associated with the arrival of the Messiah and the construction of the Third Temple. In recent times, there has been an increase in the number of Jewish people visiting the Temple Mount in Israel, viewing it as a sign of the imminent coming of the Messiah. Eon and Corey, residents of Rehovot, became engaged on the Temple Mount, with Eon offering an engagement ring to Corey in the presence of other Jewish witnesses. This practice is becoming more common among Jewish couples. Traditional Jewish weddings consist of 2 phases: the Kiddushi, engagement, and the Nizu, wedding. Eon and Corey perform the Kiddush stage, exchanging valuable rings in the presence of 2 witnesses. This procedure differs from the ancient customs that separated these stages. During the wedding ceremony, they emphasized a special blessing, highlighting the idea of humanity's creation in God's image and the importance of a lasting union. Her desire is for the wedding to symbolize a lasting union and future construction on the Temple Mount. This moment on the Temple Mount is linked to a verse often recited in wedding ceremonies, which talks about joy and gratitude in the cities of Yehuda and Yerushalayim, related to the restoration of the land. The Temple Mount has historic gates associated with bride and groom, and was later known as the Gate of Mercy, which gives the site even more significance. Jewish couples believe that their actions on the Temple Mount contribute to the fulfillment of the prophecies of Jeremiah 33. Furthermore, in verses 20 to 22, the prophecy mentions that people from various cities will come to Jerusalem to pray to the Lord. Jewish individuals view these events as the fulfillment of ancient prophecies and observe them with great admiration. Furthermore, the arrival of red bulls has come true, fulfilling the prophecies. The appearance of 5 red bulls in Israel has attracted global attention, especially among Christians who believe in biblical prophecies. The importance of these bulls lies in the fact that they conform to the prescriptions of Numbers 19 for a proper sacrifice. They must be red and immaculate. For many Christians, this is linked to the belief in the construction of a third temple in Jerusalem during the last days, and the presence of these red bulls in Israel has sparked speculation about the fulfillment of this prophecy. The Book of Numbers provides detailed instructions regarding the red heifer, which must be a red heifer without blemishes that has never been used for work. This heifer is sacrificed and burned outside the camp, along with cedar wood, hyssop, and scarlet thread. The resulting ashes are mixed with pure water, and the offering of the red bull is intended to purify people who have had contact with a corpse. The water with the ash is sprinkled on the person on the 3rd and 7th days of their purification, using hyssop. The priest who performs this ritual becomes unclean and must go through a purification process, including washing his clothes in running or living water until evening. Jewish tradition holds that these ashes are essential for the purification of Jews, allowing them to serve in the temple. For about 1,000 years, only 9 red heifers were used during the times of the first and second temples. Tradition holds that the 10th will be used by the Messiah. To make this possible, the Temple Institute and an Israeli cattle breeder are turning to modern science to implant frozen red Angus cattle embryos into Israeli domestic cattle. Different communities interpret the arrival of the red heifers in different ways. Some Orthodox Jews in Israel regard this as a step toward restoring temple services even before the construction of the Third Temple. Others emphasize the importance of Jerusalem as God's chosen place and the future restoration of a house of prayer for all nations. They see the possible use of these heifers in the reinstatement of temple services as a significant milestone. These events raise crucial questions about what the future holds. What is your perspective on these events? Leave your comment below and sign up to receive more information in the comments section. I will share a playlist of videos that I know will impact you.